What is up, everybody? Hello. Yep. Donald, yeah, I saw your comments, but don't feel bad. You're not the first person that has happened to. Donald was commenting on I made the live streams in the last 2 weeks public sometime in the last 2 days. They were unlisted just because, I don't know, with the way my schedule had gone with the other uploads. So sometimes people, you hop in and it seems like they're live at the time, but it wasn't. So he's like, man, I can't chat. But that's happened multiple times. And even my one good friend, Brad in Columbus, said how he was like 20 minutes deep before he realized what was going on. So yeah, it happens all the time. It's kind of funny. But I always feel bad because someone thinks we're not responding or they can't get into the chat. But, you know. What's up, Rock? What's up, Michigan Biker and Cycling Brian? John York, Matt Rhodes, how you doing? How you heading out? Nice. Oh yeah, Terry's streaming he's riding the Gap in CNO. He started in Pittsburgh today. I had that on all day while I was working on things and in and out. That's kind of cool to see. He's done the trail a number of times. I think he said he'll be streaming that ride through Saturday, so. What's up, Colby Cheese? Snipe TV. I actually had a conversation with him about, he hooked me up with a job up in Cleveland. So, a live concert shooting thing. I won't actually be shooting. I'll be just like a set of hands up there. But he had told me he was doing that and said he'd be in Pittsburgh last night. But I had to work this morning, so I couldn't make it out to hang out for a minute. But would have been cool. Oh, you PA guys should snipe them. Yeah, that's that'd be an easy one to snipe with the gap in CNO because there's really nowhere else to go. Simple trail for the most part. What's up, Places Lost? What's up, Metroid? Captain Nemo, Main Outdoors, SRB coming in from Florida. Florida was just on my mind. I was watching something last night about. Oh, it was one of the channels I watch on film photography was down in Florida shooting, down at county fairs and stuff like that. So, yeah, shooting with a Leica M6 that he had just bought. So, what's up, Chris FYB? And Bicycletta, yeah. Chad in Yorktown, Virginia. Yeah, I was trying to think of what a title for this stream could be, and I wasn't really like coming up with anything or like a topic, depending on how the chat went. But I was thinking about how it's been here at least such a rainy spring, but it hasn't really affected my riding all that much. I mean, there's days where I would have ridden but didn't, but then the next day was nice enough to ride. And so then my group ride days haven't really been horribly affected by the weather. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of been, everyone I talk to, it's like it's been a really rainy spring, but then I look at my mileage and my mileage doesn't look that bad. So, that's right. I taped this up because I thought the camera was focusing on it for a while. So yeah, how about where you guys have been? Have you been able to ride this spring? I was saying I was at work today chatting with my contact over at Western Reserve Hospital how one of the things I'm most glad about is just that it's finally pretty warm. So, it's just like, man, I don't know. I usually am not a fan of the rain, but I'm so over it being cold. So, still been getting chilly some of the evenings, but not to the level of, I don't know, not that like where it's ever bitter or anything like that. So I got a number of good rides in last week, but every ride I did was kind of long. So I only rode, I think, 3 or 4 times, but still ended up with 125 miles for the week. So yeah. And then over the weekend, it looked like Sunday was going to be a bunch of rain, but it wasn't. So me and Aaron went out and got 30 miles in, where Saturday it rained all day. So I just worked on stuff. But yeah, this week, it'll be interesting. I'm hoping that I could commute to some of my jobs because the rest of had one today, and the rest of the week I have at least one shoot, and all through the weekend until Sunday. So, yeah. What's up, Mr. Natty? Down in the tube station at midnight. One of the greatest songs ever written, easily. What's up, Clunky? Madison Dean. You bought bougie tailfin stuff and some in the rain. Nice. It's been in heavy rain more hours than clear weather. Yeah, that tailfin stuff looks like it's all welded. I think it does really well in the rain, right? I didn't look at I did watch Terry B's setup video. He's riding that Chinelli he borrowed, or they sent him to ride for this. I guess it's kind of like a tour sponsorship. I think he's running his tailfin stuff on that bike too. But I wasn't like a real fan of tailfin stuff. I thought at first it was just kind of like a way for roadies to try and bike pack. But then I was watching more about it, and then a couple of the people who use it, and then I saw an interview with the dude who runs tailfin. I think it was on Pathless Pedaled, right? And I was really impressed with the dude. I don't know. I guess in my head I just felt like they were some more like faceless company, and the fact that it was just like a normal dude really impressed me. So kind of changed my opinion of him with that too. Brandon, you said back pain has kept you off the bike recently. Yeah, last night was the first night in months I was able to sleep on the one side where my sciatica hurts me, so I'm finally feeling a little bit better. What are you doing, little guy? Edmund's down here being a goofball. He's laying completely on his back. Look at this, dude. Head's hanging off. Yeah. Sorry, I lost my... Why can't I pull these up? Yeah. Yeah, it was raining out there for your guys' way today too, right? Because, yeah, on Terry's stream it was raining. So. Are you chopping me? He's playing. Yeah, the back pain sucks. There's nothing worse. I don't know. It's been really weird with my sciatic nerve pain this time because it hasn't limited me as much as it usually does. I've been totally fine on the bike for the most part. I mean, I couldn't put down like 100% power if I wanted to, but it's been more just really disturbing my sleep, and then I've just kind of avoided doing a lot of stuff around here that would require like too much bending over or anything. Did you go with the carbon stuff with the tail fin? Did you get like the carbon racks and stuff like that? That's where tail fin stuff gets real pricey. Not that the bags are cheap without that stuff, but I know that like carbon stuff is expensive. What's up, Alex? For a second I thought that was parentheses AI, and I'm like, oh, is this YouTube giving us bots in the chat now? But now I realize it says, ow, gotcha. Pretty rainy here in Buffalo. Using the indoor trainer. Yeah, the weather has been crazy. The pattern, like even today, how it was rotating, like a huge system rotating backwards. Like there was rain over like Pittsburgh and PA, and then rain in Indiana for a long time. We were in the center of it before it hit. But it's just really weird because it's been rotating and almost kind of moving to the west, which is not typical at all. And that's happened a number of times this spring. What's up, Scott? So I just got my wheel back today, actually. So it was actually a busted axle that then pushed in and ruined the free hub. But Velocity replaced it with a steel axle, and because it was an aluminum axle, and also sent a new free hub. Otis just got it all together, and I picked it up today, right a little bit before the stream. So ready to get the gunner back together. So I also got a new chain ring. I'd been throwing the chain and realized it wasn't out of index. It was that the ring was totally worn out. So put that back on, get that bike going again. It's been fun to ride the rally again. It really does feel quick. I mean, I don't mind. I don't care about going that fast, but noticeable, like when I did my group ride last Wednesday and it was mostly roads, how much easier the effort did seem. But I do feel like the rally's fit is just so perfect for me though. So, but I did find myself like propping my hands up on the top of the drops a lot, like going down in the drops is so like after riding sweeps, all winter long and in spring. So yeah, and like there's nothing wrong with that either. The other thing about tail fin is like the way they're racks, it seems like you could adapt them to pretty much any bike. So it's one of their strong suits. Nonstop rain in Vermont. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of comments from the East Coast friends, Connecticut and stuff, that it's just been rain nonstop. So oddly, it's been like March here. It's been like March here than May. More like March than May with the light jacket and rain weather. Yeah. No carbon for you. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Mario? Glad to see you in the chat. We still should. I won't be live streaming next week. I have a gig in Columbus. Also, I haven't decided. I might try and hit up some of the Columbus people and see if anyone wants to meet up. I haven't figured that out yet, if that'll work out with my schedule or not. It's a 5. My shoot is in the evening, so it's like, do I want to ride bikes during the day and try and find a place to get changed, or do I want to spend the night and try and hang out the next day? We'll see. But all that to say, I've talked about with Mario how we should do a live stream and chat about bikes, since he likes to fix up, old mountain bikes and stuff like that too. I thought it'd be an interesting chat, so we'll talk about that once I get my schedule. We're also getting into do a number of little bike tours and not bike overnighters in the spring, so see how my schedule's looking. But depends on if you have the top or bottom of the low pressure system. Yeah. Was it under warranty? I I don't think that wheel would be technically under warranty. I think the thing with Velocity was that I'm not the first person to break one of those aluminum axles. So I think they know it's a problem and we're just doing the right thing. Is the gist I got from Otis. Um, I did not ask if it was technically, in my mind, I say they warranted it, but I don't know if it was technically under warranty. I think they just wanted to make it right because, like Otis said, they knew it was a problem. So, and Velocity, we talked about this every week, but doesn't make their hubs. So I think they don't, they don't want to ruin their reputation. And they've always been good about that. I've dented up, the Aileron that's behind me is one that was dented up, and they sent a new one. They did warranty that. And then I also had a corrosion issue with one, and they warranty that as well. So whether it was technically under warranty or not, I don't know. I was talking to someone. Where was that? Oh, it was at Gunk's Not Dead, and they had an issue with the Velocity. I was like, you should, if you bought them through a shop, hit up your shop and have them hit them up. If you bought it direct, hit them up because, from my experience, they're pretty cool on that. And I don't know if that's just because Dirty River buys so many Velocity wheels, or if that's just how they are in general. Because my only experience is through my bike shop. So, what's up, Matthew? He said Ryan, the CEO from Cumberland, back to DC next month. Video played a big part in the motivation. Awesome. Best place to eat in Cumberland. When we were there, it was 4th of July, and we ate at like the only place that was open. So unfortunately, I don't have good advice. We ate at it was just like a classic bar with bar food. And there was nothing wrong with what we got, but I don't think it would be the best place in Cumberland. But I'd have to go back. It would be whatever we ate, wherever we ate in the video. But I'm trying to think if me and Aaron ate there when we did just the Gap Trail. I don't think we did. So, no, because we started there. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't have a good answer for you on that one, but it doesn't seem like Cumberland, and if anyone else knows, I'm sure there's other people who have been there and done the trail, has a ton of places like that though, so but. Captain Nemo, we generally have the same thing with the rotating weather. You can expect a headwind when going west in the valley, but you've had a few massive tailwinds this past week going west. Yeah, it's been all over the place. Metroid, have you tried any flared drop bars? My drop bars are flared. I really like them because they're flared after the drop. So they've got a decent amount of flare, but the levers are still straight. I just really don't like the look of flared levers. Don't let that stop anyone from doing it. I know Ronnie Romance, Ultra Dynamico, says the same thing, but that they're just like really, really functional and comfortable. But yeah, so it's one thing I really like about the Minor the Carver all road bars, that they still kind of look a little more normal, but you still have the flare. So you got the wider hand position on the bottom. But oh, we're on before your bedtime, Mario. Nice. But most of my friends ride what is that? The cow chippers. Those are the salsas, right? Salsas, cow chippers, and there's two. Like even Aaron runs them. What is salsa? Why doesn't that sound right to me? But oh, and North Florida, 73 to 79, and a whole lot of sun. Oh, in a couple months it'll be way too warm though. Yeah. Yeah, Richie Venture Max are super popular. A ton of people run those bars. So. Windy this whole year. Yeah, I always, when I start to get annoyed with the wind, remember spring is just always windy, and you just have to accept it. But around here, anyways. Oh, I read this before I said it, Colby. This hurts my brain. If you aim your back into the wind, point your left hand low and your right hand high. Each hand is facing the respective low-high pressure area. Low to the west means a storm is coming. Huh. Is that true? Is that some folk? folk weather casting. What do you call that? Mr. Natty, quick reminder: the Bike Jumble is this Saturday in Brooklyn. Nice. Yeah, I've had a few people ask me if we're going to any of the other East Coast stuff, but probably won't be back out there to the fall. It's so far for us because I know Ronnie has the spring fling coming up, but I saw Miggy Helmet Kids post another event. What was that? Can't think of the name of it. I've just been watching it on Instagram, but yeah, it's such a hike for us to go out there more than a couple times a year. Richie Bar fanboy, Thrifty Frame Builder, what's up? What's up, Dirty Rat? Oh, okay. Cowbell, cow chipper, wood chipper. Least to most flare. Gotcha. Does Erin run the cow chipper, I think? Yeah. She never remembers either. She has an Excel spreadsheet with all her bike parts, though. The Spank Flare 25, even if 25 is a hair too flared. Yeah. Numbers like that are something I can't. When people talk about how much sweep and that, I just need to look at stuff. Even when I bought the Soma Portman sweep bars for my bike, I need to just hold them up against the granola bars and be like, oh, this is what they look like compared to my bars. That kind of stuff those numbers just don't stay in my head. So yeah, props to you guys who it does. Also, I've said I think part of my problem is I don't order anything online, so I'm always just going in the bike shop and looking at stuff. So I feel like if you're constantly looking at stuff online, the numbers are going to stick in your head more than if you're just like visually always checking everything out. The Midge one, is that how you pronounce that? Midge one bars? They are flared and have a shallow bend with short drops. Mr. Natty said, got a tip, don't piss against the wind. All right, have a good ride, Metroid. Thanks for hopping in. Let's look at the Midge ones. I'm not familiar with those. All I got was the insect. Guess I have to type in handlebars. I can only type with one hand because Edmund is laying on the other one. There's one on eBay. Where's an actual bike shop? Wow, those are cheap. 27 bucks. Yeah, shallow drop, but not the shallowest. I've definitely seen a few that are even more so. Was that the right one, Salty? Sorry, it's on Midge one? On MI? What's going on?
On one is the company.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's the right one. Yeah. Plus $40 shipping. Yeah. That's another benefit of
That's a point where it's like too cheap. I don't trust it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it could also just mean they're heavy, which I don't know. I'm just, yeah. Got on your surly karate monkey. Huh, yeah. Usually see karate monkeys with more like flat or sweep bars, right? I'm trying to think of Justin at Nutmeg was riding a karate monkey. Did he have drops on that? I can't remember. Or some of the other ones you guys mentioned. Is that bar called the Spank Flare 25 Al? Spank Flare Vibracore 25 drop bar. Why do companies think they should put a pop-up when you go to their website?
Everybody does it.
It's the worst marketing decision ever. It's like when you watch a YouTube video and someone, before they say anything, says, hey, subscribe to my channel. Why would I subscribe? You haven't told me a goddamn thing yet. Same with this. How do I know I want any kind of discount, deal, newsletter if I haven't had a chance to look at your website? What happens is these marketers tell these people, like, 85% of the people only stick on your website for 10 seconds, so you got to hit them then. That 85% who leaves right away was never going to buy anything anyways. You're just making the experience worse for the 15% who want to be here. It's a piece of advice for all of you out there. Don't ever do that. Don't sell in the first 10 seconds of anything. God. Anyways.
I love the ones where it's like demeaning to click out of it. Oh, you're too good to save 20%?
yeah. Like they hit you again with it. Like, this one, oh, is it the different sizes? No, it has all these different images, but they're all the same image. Look at this. Look. They could.
Gotta be the different.
It could be the different sizes, but that's the funny thing about photographing on white. I even had a client. He was selling all these different size boxes, and he wanted me to shoot them like at scale, so just leaving blank space. And I'm like, well, we're shooting them on white, so all we're doing is wasting pixels. You know what I mean? It's like. And then I shot this tire for a different company, and they were like, it needs to be cropped to these proportions. And they were talking about the white space. And I'm like, then crop it to those proportions. It's on white. Like, what do you know? Like, I think that's what they did here, though. I think it is all the different ones. But that's so funny because they look exactly the same. Yeah. I think when you go to the 440, there's a slight change. Because they just had the angle slightly different. Sorry. Commercial photography nerdery, but I'm sure this photographer was like, whatever, Spank. Yeah, I'll shoot. I just need to shoot one if you're going to make them all look exactly the same. I could Photoshop those millimeter numbers on there quicker than I could photograph and retouch all these bars individually. Those bars might only take 9 months to get to you. Yeah. Salty Rider, you're talking about the previous ones. They're not heavy, not flimsy. Huh. Yeah, that's just amazing. I mean, because you can see the difference. What these are $129 for a similar looking bar. So something's got to give somewhere. That's all I'm saying.
I guess it's not really unheard of. I'm on Jensen looking at a bunch of drop bars.
Are they pretty cheap?
Oh, they're all over the place, but a couple 30s, 40s.
30s and 40s, yeah. 10 pieces of flare minimum. I literally just watched a video about the history of TGI Fridays. Not about Fridays specifically, but about that style of restaurant.
Oh,
it was actually
specifically a documentary about
yeah.
Fridays.
It was fascinating. TGI Fridays was a singles bar in New York City, and it was at a trend of bars that were called fern bars because they had ferns and like the grandma's living room aesthetic.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard about this? Fern bars? And
I can picture it.
So it's that I didn't know about it, so it's just kind of as those people, boomers basically, grew up, it turned into the style of chain restaurant because that's the bars they hung out in and met their significant others. And then at the end, the guy brought up how, he's married with kids now and he takes his kids to the brewery and it's the same exact thing, kind of. And we're always like, why are there so many damn kids at these breweries? Because most of me and my friends don't have kids. but now it kind of really made a lot of sense. But I thought it was fascinating that the whole aesthetic for like the Fridays and Applebee's from our childhood came out of bar culture. I was, oops, sorry, didn't mean to bop you in the beezer, Edmund. He's looking at me like, what are you doing? What's up, Chad K? ENP, how you doing? Turned 500 miles on the new bike today. Nice. Rode through the washed out towpath, Clinton to Canal Fulton on your e-cargo bike. Water was higher than the crank. That's so funny. The guy I was just mentioning earlier that I work with at the hospital where I was doing my shoot today is from that part of Ohio. And I was just talking about whether, he was asking if I've been able to get out between the rain and all that. And I was saying, yeah, the only thing is I wouldn't go that far south on the towpath because it always floods down there. Like closer to Clinton, right, is usually the worst.
Clinton's underwater.
Yeah.
All the time, yeah.
At least it's paved now, so it doesn't wash away every year. But yeah, it always gets deep. There's that one. Clinton itself is the reason that downtown never went anywhere is because it sits too low. But there's that one section of trail that it'll flood even when it's not as bad as it's been lately.
It doesn't take much.
Yeah, but it has to be. Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, you'll see like the weeds after you go out. Like the mud line is so high around that area on the towpath. But yeah. And again, if you do a pop-up after I've been looking at your website for 10 minutes and putting stuff in my cart and it's like, hey, do you want 10% off your first order? Then I'm invested. But right away, it's like, no, you haven't let me look at what I want to look at yet. Anyways, one of my hugest pet peeves because I think that's a case of looking at numbers backwards. If you guys know that whole bomber World War II thing, I'm not going to get into it, but with the bomb, where they armed the bombers because where they were coming back with the bullet holes,
Right.
and how that was backwards thinking because those are the bombers that survived. You need to arm the spots where the bullet holes aren't. But anyways, it's the same thing. Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't think I've popped into live streams on mobile, but I probably wouldn't know where to do it either. But what else were we talking about before I went off the deep end? What's up, Chris? How's it going? Oh yeah, also I have a Wolf Ridge IPA today, so Columbus beer. It's kind of a boring beer to buy from Wolf Ridge because they do so many interesting beers, but Chris retracted your good evening message.
Take that back.
Take that back. Have a bad evening. Yeah. I said that to a guy, something about having a bad day when I was riding my bike over some industrial gravel a couple weeks ago. He turned around and he saw me. So I never had the chance to say passing or, wouldn't really use on your left because I'm not on a real bike trail, but I would tell him I was passing or I would say something like coming through just so I wouldn't scare him. But then when I passed him, he's like, geez, are you going to say anything? And I'm like, you looked directly at me. Like you knew I was there. And he just keeps yelling and I'm like, okay. That's what I turned around and said. I said, you want to have a bad day. You want to argue with someone. Good job. Have a bad day. Like, it's like you looked in my eyes. Like I saw you. You saw me. Like, what do you? You're right. I should say something, unless you already saw me. But Colby Cheese, read kids in a brewery. I will 100% support a brewery that has a good specialty soda, root beer, so you could bring your kiddo. Yeah. It was when I was in Boston when I really noticed it. I was hanging out with my buddy Eric, which neither of us have kids. He has kind of a stepson, but who's already pretty much grown because he's at film school in New York. So totally different than, having kids. But we started using the saying, more babies than a Boston brewery. Because in Boston, it was like, we were outnumbered by like literal babies. Like, and I'm like, I get like, you're a family, you're on Saturday, you're running your errands, or you're going to go out for dinner because breweries, most of them have such good food. It is a restaurant, whatever. I totally get it. I don't think about it as much because I don't have kids. But yeah, more babies than a Boston brewery. I think it's the best thing. But I also like places that like limit the time. If they're going to be open late, it's like at dinner time, kids could be there, but then after like 8 o'clock or something, I don't know. It wouldn't bother me if someone was like, there can't be kids here at 9 o'clock. Because should there be kids at a brewery at 9 o'clock? I don't know. Like I said, it's the same story as Fridays. That was the point of that whole thing. They've become more than a place to get drinks. So, Tumbleweed Big Dipper Bar. Internet has been warning about supply chain issues the next 2 quarters. Oh, I expect doom and gloom. I expect doom and gloom. Yeah, these tariffs are going to destroy the economy. They're going to destroy everything you want to buy because it's all. I mean, almost all of it's made overseas. Yeah, I expect doom and gloom 100%. I expect. I'm at the university nonstop this time of year and talking to my friends over there. Doom and gloom is definitely the.
That's what's coming out of the economics class.
Yeah, everyone's expecting doom and gloom. Everyone's grants are getting cut. Aaron's grant just got said it would get cut, even though it's already appropriated by Congress, which is technically illegal. But yeah, I expect doom and gloom in every aspect of the economy. Have the day you deserve, yeah. Hey, what's up? Out of Manila again. I subscribed to your channel last week, and I've seen that you've posted a number of videos, but I haven't had a chance to watch them yet. It's on my list to check out.
Mixed Effecto subscribed to the channel.
Mixed Effecto. Thanks, bro.
Good looking.
Yeah. Yeah, the tariffs are just going to start to hit because they only got implemented on stuff that was still in the country of origin. So stuff that was already on the sea will not have the tariff applied to it. So we're not really feeling any of the effects of any of the stuff yet. We're just feeling effects of the chaos of someone who doesn't know what he's doing and changes his mind every day. So people are starting to clamp down. But as of now, it feels like people are still spending the money they have and doing the events they have scheduled. But we'll see what next fall is going to look entirely different. So, yeah. And in my case, marketing is one of the first things that goes. So I get hired less for sure. So yeah, super chat if you can.
Smash that.
Yes, buy some Edmund stickers. Yeah. Actually, people have been buying a lot of them, so thanks for that. Used bikes. You ordered a new set of the O clamps that hold the levers on the bars, and you over tighten them on a tightly curved compact drop bar. So you collapse the bars, what you're saying? I always think that when I'm passing people who are walking like that too, I'm like, man, get a cheap bike, you would get so much farther, you know? Like, obviously that was, the people I pass on those trails are usually not someone who are out for a exercise, if you know what I mean. So, hey, what's up, Don? The season is underway up there in the north. Grizzly bears are on the move. Yeah, nice. Hey, what's up, Winter Steiner? I was trying to, that triggered something in my brain and then it just faded. Sorry. Anyways, what's up? Anyone see William LeBron in here? I don't think he's been in here yet unless I haven't caught up with him. But I know he was on Strava today because he liked a bunch of my rides. So kids can drink with their parents' permission at restaurants in Wisconsin. Really? Huh. I didn't think that could happen anywhere because when the federal government used its like leverage, so if you guys don't know, like when they wanted the drinking age to be 21 everywhere, basically states that wouldn't raise it to 21, someone who correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't read this in a long time, but I believe they wouldn't send you federal highway money. So that's how because they couldn't there was no mechanism for the federal government to change the drinking age, but they just basically then used the leverage of federal highway dollars, if I remember correctly. And I think New Orleans or Louisiana, for a long time, that's how they have their lax liquor laws, just didn't take federal highway money. But don't quote me on that. That's some knowledge that I read probably in my 20s, and now it's something along those lines, though. So I'm just surprised to hear that, Colby. But then again, everything is kind of relaxed since everything was pretty clamped down in the 90s and early 2000s. So. Oh, Ian P said thought about the Dirty River ride on Sunday. Yeah, they were doing a pavement rain ride. I love that there's diehards that go every week, but yeah, that's a Sunday where I'm gonna wait and ride later when it's raining in the morning. So 10 o'clock is like the roll time, Ian P, but yeah, if you get there by 10, you won't have an issue. Alex said they hit some of the stuff you sell last month. Huh. I wonder, was it not shipped by sea or was it just coming from somewhere closer? But the way I understand it, if it was, yeah, so the stuff that's coming from China is now just getting here that will have tariffs on it, from what I understand. But What's Going On with Shipping is a great YouTube channel, very informative, worth the listen. Okay. Yeah, I was watching a guy, he was actually a photography guy, but he has a side business that is hot sauce. But nobody makes bottles like that in the US, I guess. So, all the bottles, specialty bottles, are made in China. So for him, he knew what the tariff situation looks like, but it's only a small part of his product, so it's not affecting him as much. He can eat the cost, or at least a little bit of it. But so he had his trade broker on who was explaining it. So, and I've read a couple articles in the New York Times too, because I'm a left winger. When I read reporters who go and talk to people and get the facts, that makes you a left winger. Cracked the metal inside the O clamps, but they were older, cheaper type. Gotcha. A lot of the O clamps are universal inside, but the Allen key bolts are all different. Yeah. He's got the Wisconsin link. Yes, a person under 21 may possess and consume alcoholic beverages if they are with their parents, at the discretion of the licensee. So restaurants allowed to have it happen, but they don't have to have it happen. Gotcha. Interesting. Had no idea. Large Marge doing the research. Bike prices from the Asian market remain the same up there in Canada. Yeah, I've heard different schemes of buying stuff in Canada and crossing the border and not declaring it, but Just the Gap, Captain Captain Chris Nevin, your official title. Again, it totally depends on your strength as a rider. Me and Aaron, on our first ever, again, this was a credit card tour. We didn't camp. We did it in 3 days, and then when me, Large, and Aaron did it camping, we did it in 3 days as well. It's 150 miles just for the Gap, so just depends on how much you want to ride. If you're doing it in the summer with the long days, yeah. So, yeah, 5 days is, you could do it in sightseeing and stuff and have plenty of time, I would believe. So if you mean, is that unreasonable? I don't think it's unreasonable, but it would be on the long side, not the short side. But if you're talking about the gap in the CNO, oh, we actually did the gap in 2 days the second time. We spent 3 days on the CNO and did the gap in 2 days. We did 75-mile days, actually. I think we did an 80 and a 60 or something more like that. But so I think 3 days is probably the sweet spot, 350-mile days if you're trying to do a little bit of sightseeing and getting to camp and or hanging out at restaurants or whatever you like, however you like to tour. But yeah. I'm glad we spent more time on the CNO because I think there's more to see there. Not saying don't do the gap, but like we spent a decent amount of time checking out Harper's Ferry in the evening and in the morning, going to Great Falls. Great Falls? Yeah, Great Falls outside Washington, D.C., where most of what the gap has to offer is right there on the trail, in my opinion. There's obviously Pittsburgh people in here who would know it way better than I do, but places lost at Texas is like that too. Kids could drink with their parents. I guess I didn't realize that really existed, but EMP said, Mad Mothers Against Drunk Driving was instrumental in pushing the alcohol level reforms. Yeah. They used a string of federal grant money. So was it great? Just federal grant money and not freeway money, maybe. But yeah. How did Louisiana ended up raising it? I've actually never been, so I know it was 18 when I was growing up because that just always sounded like a big deal. Oh, Alex, you saw the F Stoppers video I was referencing as well. Yeah. Yeah, I don't watch all of F Stoppers videos, but there's some that are really, they're all really well done, but there's some that like really pique my interest and other ones that don't. So, hey, what's up, Matt Ford? How's it going? Just saw this on the net. Gen X are 45 to 60-year-olds who look like 30 to 40-year-olds and feel like 100 to 110-year-olds. Yeah, I've always said it's like weird because I'm so right on the cusp. Because I'm 45, so yeah, the low end of, depending on how they define it, Gen X. But I definitely like the stuff that I remember from childhood feels way more Gen X than millennial. So I definitely identify, I think, probably way more with what's generic Gen X stuff than millennial stuff. But I mean, I grew up pre-internet, so that's all that matters, right? So actually remember the 80s. So. What's up, Jay? Took an urban gravel industrial wasteland ride today in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Nice. That's one of the things when I started doing those kind of videos, I always thought is that it would be relatable to people because people just live in a lot of towns that are the cities the size of Akron, and they, especially in the Rust Belt, you have a lot of that kind of stuff, abandoned industry stuff. Oh, Notice was messaging me that Summit Metro Parks re-reeled my reel. I was actually trying to find if they had a specific mountain bike Instagram, but they didn't. Then I just left the tag on anyways. So I'm really surprised they did. Chris said 3 days for the gap is pretty fair. You've done it 40, 50, 60, and vice versa. Some people do 2 days, some 5. Yeah, your fitness. And then which way you're going, I think will matter a lot too. Climbing out of Cumberland it's railroad grade. It's not steep, but it makes that day a lot longer. And, Cumberland up to like the Great Allegheny Passage or the Continental Divide up from Cumberland. If you're going that way, it's going to make the day feel, I think, or the trip feel a little longer. Because obviously you're climbing coming from Pittsburgh the other way too, but that is almost imperceptible because it's just such a light grade over so much extended miles. So, Oh, you're going from Pittsburgh to Washington, so you're doing the Gap and the CNO because once you get to Cumberland, Pittsburgh to Cumberland is the Great Allegheny Passage, and it's a rail trail. Cumberland to DC is the CNO, and that's a canal towpath, which is a much more rustic trail and stuff like that. So yeah, 5 days is still doable. I would definitely do the 2 days on the Gap, in my opinion, though. So also, if you're taking the train, build in a day. Don't consider the train day a riding day. It always gets delayed behind freight traffic, which technically is illegal, but it happens. So you'll end up on sidings a lot. You never know when you're really going to get there. So we took the train to DC, spent the night in DC, and then rode in the morning. Yeah, just if you're using Amtrak, which is a great way to do it, just build in a night. Don't count the Amtrak day as a riding day. Would be one of my pieces of advice about the trail. But I love that trip. And again, if you want to see a little bit of what it looks like, Terry Berenson's YouTube channel or his Twitch will have it streaming all week. So, but he said they're going to be streaming till Saturday. Today's just Monday. Huh. I wonder if they're riding all those days. Well, they did a short day today. That's right. They didn't go super far. So, plus they were out in the rain, which changes things. '21 in the late '80s in Louisiana? I don't think so. I thought they resisted much longer than that. Am I wrong? Someone fact check me there. How long did Louisiana stick out the 18-year-old drinking age? I thought it went into the 90s, even into the 2000s. But weren't they also real like? Didn't they also keep it like for a long time where they didn't have open container laws because they had like drive-throughs where you could get drinks and stuff. And I mean like open like drinks like cocktails. I think they resisted a lot of the laws, and my knowledge of that cannot come from the '80s. I had to be watching that way later, but. Puerto Rico still has the drinking age at 18. Huh. Threw us off when the kid behind us looked like he was 16 trying to get into the casino's club. Huh. Yeah, I've been to Puerto Rico, but I was already well over the drinking age, so I guess I never paid attention. So.
You're both right.
Raised to 21 in 1996.
1986. There were loopholes.
This one says 96.
Oh, that's the loophole.
Oh, they
allowed businesses to sell somehow to 18-year-olds until 96.
What do you mean businesses?
I don't know. You want me
Where else would you buy alcohol from?
You want me to go deep into it?
But you couldn't get it off the street if you were. Well, I think that's a fact that matters.
I'm at AI level right now. You want me to get deeper in there?
Oh, so you could be hallucinating. Open containers are still allowed in New Orleans. Yeah, I know New Orleans has a. I know that just from like all the Mardi Gras stuff, but I don't know it's statewide. So, an open container when you're walking is different than an open container in the car as well. So, yeah. I heard part of the towpath is getting shut down due to major damage and might not reopen for a while. I have not seen anything posted about that. I did not see the national park post anything on their page. They were already working on the area around Redlock, but I thought Lanky Cyclist posted that had opened early just today, I think. But yeah,
they're still working at Redlock, but they opened the trail.
Oh, okay.
So they're still doing their work. No, they just closed down between Fitzwater and the Frazee House.
Ah, Fitzwater and the Frazee House.
The erosion is like at the trail now.
So that just happened?
Yeah, that just happened. And that's going to be shut down. Like, no detours, nothing. That's going to be a while.
That sucks. I always hate when they say no detour.
I mean, right there, you could just jump on canal.
There is a detour. They just are not willing to let you know what it is because they don't want
I
liability.
think they're doing other work up there too. I forget that. The park did do a little post on that.
Hmm. How people a couple of years older than you would drive from Austin to Louisiana on beer runs. Nice. Also, back then, people they just didn't enforce stuff like they do now. I mean, I would going to the bars when you were underage back in the day was not a big deal. It was pretty lax. I don't know. At least the dive bars we went to. Kettle Valley Rail Trail in British Columbia. 830 kilometers? Oh, nice. You have Google Maps open, so. I lost it by zooming out so far. See where we are in relation to other things, like I always like to do. Oh yeah, that's a long way. I would love to get out towards that to Vancouver and that whole part, even Banff, Calgary, Edmonton. But yeah, that's a hike from here. There's someone who's never even been to California yet. So. Michigan Biker, we've always, me and Ben and me and Large Marge and Funny Brad have talked about how we want to make spend a day in the studio making sound effects for this, like singing, like when that happens, like maps. Just like, think they'd ever say no detour to cars? Yeah, exactly. I just, I really don't like the no detour thing. That annoys me. It's just don't say anything. You know what I mean? There is never like a detour for a rail trail technically, right? You're not going to be able to stay on bike paths. That's why, like a canal towpath. It's not like there was another canal that you could like detour onto. I get that, but yeah. 18 here in Quebec, 19 in Ontario, where you're from. When you were a 22-year-old in Chicago, the drinking age seemed pointless, considering all of my friends under 21 had fake IDs. Yeah, and I mean, yep. You're going to get whatever you want. Like, there's a way to, marijuana is illegal, but I never had any problem getting it. So, Doesn't Wisconsin and Michigan have drive-through liquor stores? And we have drive-throughs. There's a drive-through across the street here. Yeah, Ohio's pretty lax on where you can get beer. I'm always like thrown when you go to Pennsylvania, and you're like, even what's that grocery store everyone loves in Pennsylvania? Wegmans. When we were heading out to Nutmeg last year, we had our beer and we walked up there like, oh, you can't buy that much. Like literally, you just have to go. Basically, they were like, have your boyfriend buy the other half of it to Aaron, and someone else was telling us how they were like, just go take it out to your car. Now come back in and buy the rest. It's like, what a talk about pointless laws, but yeah, Pennsylvania makes it hard because I'm so used to every single gas station in Ohio sells beer. It's like extremely rare to walk into a place that doesn't have beer, and now it's extremely rare to walk into a place that doesn't have craft beer. Yeah.
What do they call it? Not like a depot.
I gotta cross my legs the other way, Edmund.
It's like having to go to the liquor store, but just for like a 6-pack of beer. It's
Yeah.
super annoying.
Yeah, really annoying. Yeah,
So I
here
think-
when we were growing up, you had to go to the state liquor store, or grocery stores had licenses, some of them, but now
Right.
that's all been relaxed too, for the most part.
But I think they're talking about. I can't remember where, but it's like going. It's like a McDonald's drive-through. They'll give you a mixed drink, like with a straw and everything.
Oh yeah, I thought that they did that in Louisiana, right?
Is that?
Yeah,
wrong,
Newark.
Dave?
Yeah,
Like technically, they leave like the wrapper on top of the straw, so that's saying
Yeah.
you can't drink it.
they closed down sections of the White Pine Trail there in Michigan. The reroutes had so much climbing. Yeah, and that would be this. Towpath wouldn't be as bad because everywhere. I mean, you are in a valley, but some roads go through. But yeah, when you're like, if you were somewhere like West Virginia on a rail trail, like the North Bend, and there was a detour, you would be in trouble. There's a reason that trail is famous for all its tunnels, because they're through the mountains. But yeah. 48Xer here, still rocking. It's the diet and the bikes. What's up, Racer? Donald said, I never see cars must walk signs either. Yeah. Oh, they're saying you're not talking close enough to the mic, Dave.
You just won't talk then.
I do have the one that like picks up stuff better over there. Mine really has to be talked into. That one usually does a good job of just picking it up. But you have an old rail trail in Southern California that goes up 5,000 feet of rugged mountain that used to end at a bar and hotel. But as you can imagine, upkeep of the rail tracks was hard. Yeah, that'd be crazy riding a rail trail that climb like that. I think the gap from Cumberland to the Continental Divide it's like 1,200 feet, but it's over such a long period that it's not crazy. It's just, you're not going super fast. It's still on Strava shows as my longest climb ever, which is funny because I've done stuff that's so much more challenging. But let's see. Biggest climb, 1,500 feet. So let's see if it's still that. No. Higher Ground in PA took over for that. There was a brutal climb at Higher Ground. So yeah, and way steeper than the. It must be this one. Yeah, it's this guy here. And it's also rough gravel road. A little bit washed out, so it's not just a 1,500-foot climb, but it's where you're still picking your line for 1,500 feet. And how much does it pitch up? I know it pitches up in spots like really steep. I saw a 10 there. 16%. Yeah, it's. Someone said they're bringing Higher Ground back this year. We'll see what happens. Oh, you know what? Do they still have the polls on here? This is a goal thing. I had a question I wanted to ask of the chat, but I'd rather not get a million individual answers. Did they get rid of that? Maybe they did.
Well, they moved it.
Is it in the plus down here? Oh, there we go. Here we go. I'm going to put a poll in here. If you guys can answer who are in here tonight, it would help. And once I get it up, then we'll start. So traditionally in the summer, I moved the live streams back to 9 o'clock because a lot of times with the late sunset, I'm just out riding or everyone's doing stuff or working in the garden, whatever it may be. So I'm curious as to who's in the chat, whether you think we should keep it at 8. One thing that's nice, it's like 9 o'clock, and I'm like, man, if we wrap up in a half hour, I could still do stuff tonight. And I know a lot of people, you probably go to bed. But some people just like it because it's early. But I'm curious what you guys are in here now. So if you don't mind, answer this poll so we have just give me an idea. I'm not going to say I'm going to be bound to this poll either, and I don't mind. I like the idea of like having it be flexible, but I think that's bad for people. People like the consistency is one of the things that makes sense. It's always Tuesday at 8 or it's always Tuesday at 9. People know to tune in, but yeah, not that I'm obsessed with the numbers, but anyways, just made the poll go live in the chat, so let me know what you guys think. So anyways, let's see, back to the chat here. Oh, see you later, Edmund. Well, at least my legs could go back in a position that okay, where are we? Oh, is that what it costs, Rock? I was looking at pictures on Instagram, and I love the Pocky helmet. $369. Just no way. I could not justify it. But it's my favorite helmet for sure. I'll pull up a picture for anyone who wants to see it. But oh, there's William LeBron. What's up, dude? They were asking about you earlier. Okay, here's the older one. I need to see the new one. I'll put Breakaway in there. They're showing the last one. There it is. Can you imagine spending $369 on a helmet? Dylan's friend we were riding with in New York City, I think he had a helmet that was probably in the $400 range. So I appreciate that used bikes, but it's good to get some input on, see what's that. No, I don't think you did anything wrong, William LeBron. I think it was, who was it? Was it Michigan biker? Just a fellow Michigander? Free shipping for POC members. You're not going to ship that for free if I'm not a member at $369? You're going to make me pay shipping? I like when Rafa does the helmets. They just like repaint someone else's helmet, then jack up the price like another 50 or $75. Probably more than that, but. Captain Nemo, I've spent a lot of money on goofy stuff, but don't think you'd pay that for a helmet. Plus, you're gonna wear out a helmet. You're gonna break a helmet. You're gonna need to replace a helmet. That's one of the things. You buy some of that bike bling, Chris King. Not that some of that stuff doesn't wear out, but Chris King, White Industries. Hopefully, you're gonna have it it's probably outlived the bike frame you put it on. Whereas your helmet is, it's made to fail. I mean, like, it gets bumped a couple times, you're not supposed to use it anymore. So, yeah.
What do they say? Is it how many years? Just in sweat and...
Yeah, I know that they say it breaks down. I wear mine way past when you're supposed to. I know that. And I also drop them and bang them around when I take, because I don't wear it around like a roadie in the bar and stuff. People got so mad when I said that in the one video. Like, where am I supposed to put it? I'm like, hang it on your bike? I don't know. Anyways, do whatever you want with your helmet. If it was $369, it'd probably be staying on my head though too. Wear it even when I wasn't riding my bike. Wear it when I'm editing photos. Get my money's worth. Tristan said I just have to tell my wife it has some really great safety features. Yeah. I do see a lot of people wearing those, like, who made those? Trek Bontrager with the, it's got that green mesh in it that they really hyped up. It's just supposed to be really, really safe, but I don't know. Like, we were out riding a couple weeks ago and a guy went over the bars. Not one of our friends, just some other dude who was out, landed right on his face. One of the things he said was, I was wearing a helmet. And it's like, yeah, you landed on your face. Like, it's not a force shield. Like, that's what another problem I have with helmets. People, like, especially with the helmet Nazis, they act like helmets protect you everywhere. To me, they're a why not. I wear it, whatever, but they're not the be all and end all. I mean, car hits you, you're going to be broken in a lot of places, you know. But Hodge, yeah, I'm planning to come up to the Handmade Bike Show. I have it blocked off on the calendar. We haven't made any specific plans yet. Erin hasn't confirmed she's going to go, but I know Funny Brad said he was interested, so I want to come up and, if the weather's good, maybe ride the DTE trails again beforehand. But yeah, I'm hoping to do it. As of right now, I don't even have anything going on the couple days before, and I was like, can I swing riding my bike up there like I did for Meet Me in Manchester? But I don't know, probably getting ahead of myself, so I need to see what friends have planned, and yeah, but I really do want to come up for that. So love to see Frank, Lugs Not Drugs, and all that. Zephyr Line's going to be up there selling her caps. Margaret. So yeah, wouldn't mind me and the guys from STS Bikes. They've reached out and I connected them with Frank, and now they're going to be at the show too. So sounds like it's going to be a much bigger show this year from all the stuff they posted. So I'll post that in the Discord as well. I've posted a couple times, but for the meetups and rides, when a couple weeks as we get closer, I'll post that we're heading up there too. So yeah, Captain Nemo. Helmets are consumable, and $100 helmet does the same thing. I've always said I don't know, I have a helmet back here somewhere that my dad let me borrow right behind Dave, and I do feel like there's a point that I don't want it. It's almost worthless to go below. Like, feel how cheap that thing feels.
Oh, you can just tell.
Yeah.
This looks like a little kid's helmet.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to get the cheapest helmet on the market, but yeah, I don't need the most expensive either.
Yeah, that literally is just styrofoam. Like, no.
Yeah, just styrofoam. And it's still, I mean, it probably would, for most impacts, do what it's supposed to, but I don't know. I'm not that. One of the reasons I wear helmets on so many of my rides that I don't feel like I need one is so you guys don't bother me about it.
I see a lot of people out there with helmets.
I see them on the bike paths. I don't see that many on the roads. Like, besides people who are, like, literally commuting out of not choice, you know.
Well, yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
But I mean, people that on the path, but are like actual cycle, like a real bike, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I was surprised how many people weren't wearing helmets at Gunks, just because that is like mountain biking to an extent, and that's one of the things to me where I'm gonna wear a helmet when I'm mountain biking. You're just doing something risky. A lot of no helmets and no helmets and sandals, and
the sandals is crazy.
And again, I won't judge and I won't tell anyone that they should do anything. I don't care. But I was surprised because I'm like, this is some gnarly stuff. You know? Like, whereas on a bike path and bike tours, like when we do, and obviously a lot of outside viewers who aren't regulars on my channel see videos when we do like a gap in CNO, but me and Funny Brad will take our helmets off and hang them on the bike bags for a while if we're just on a long stretch of bike path with no roads. People get so triggered by that. I'm like, do you walk around you could fall down the stairs in your house. Whatever. I don't want to get that debate going too much, but yeah, if you're just riding, like we didn't wear them when we rode the rail trail in Pennsylvania. We rode 15 miles on the rail trail and we had parked at the trailhead, and it was like a 30-foot wide gravel path. I mean, yes, you could fall off your bike and hit your head. I don't know. That's whatever. I think the whole helmet thing is like so victim blaming. You know, it's just yeah. It's like, hey, cyclists should wear helmets, then we have to do nothing else for them. That's all. They just need to wear a helmet, and then we do nothing else. There's no bike lanes. There's no infrastructure. They just need to wear a helmet, then they'll be fine. Like I said, and it's exactly what you could tell got in that guy's brain who wrecked his bike. He's like, how did I get so hurt? I was wearing a helmet. It's like, yeah, because helmets don't do that much. They do one thing, and it's very specific, you know. But like I said, I'm going to wear it most of the time. It's like the seatbelt. It's a why not. Most of the time you drive your car, you're not going to get a wreck, but you could. So definitely balancing bike life. I'd rather put that kind of money into my bike. Yeah, buy $100 helmet, and then if you're going to buy that, you have what? How much is this? Yeah, $269 to put into your bike. So that helmet looks great on Lachlan from EF. Yeah, and he doesn't have to pay for it. It's a lot of this stuff to pros. I love all I do usually like. They didn't make any. Oh, they were white the last 2 years, but I usually buy the EF socks every year because I think they're cool. But you just to those guys, they're almost disposable. They have a pair they wear every single day on the
It is a good looking helmet.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. I love that stuff. I love low profile helmets, but I just refuse to pay for them. A wave cell. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. No vents for sunglasses. I guess I never used my helmet like that, but I could see that because a lot of people do. Wave cell. Remember Trek, how they like hyped that for like weeks, how they were coming out with a new product, then it was just a helmet and everyone was like, cool, but come on. Trek does it too. They think I need a coupon before I even do anything. Oh yeah, that green. That's the stuff I was picturing. Looks like now they have them in black. If I was gonna pay for that, I'd want the green stuff in there. Yeah, like with the black and they look cool, but I don't know. I just think I don't know. My helmet has protected me. I've hit my head like with a helmet on. I don't know. I know the whole MIP stuff I've never even looked into. I don't even, and that kind of like a harness system for your brain. Don Parson, I just opened a Blind Men Brewing Dream Machine Mexican Lager. What a great way to wind down the day. Oh, it's 7:20 out there. Nice. Oh yeah, William, because I think you were going to go last year, but you didn't go because the weather was kind of shitty, right? Yeah. Yeah, because when we did the gravel ride, the rain had stopped. Well, we waited a little bit. I think we delayed the start a little bit, and it was drizzling. But the gravel was messy. We were very dirty after that ride, so. Captain Nemo, I wear a helmet because it's the best way to hold a mirror and a propeller. Nice. People still take their helmets off on the climbs and put it on the descents. I remember like when you watch like, what was that, like 80s and early 90s? Like in the pros, they like hand helmets out the team car windows and they put them on for the descents.
Yeah.
Before they were compulsory, because now you have to wear a helmet, obviously, in the pro peloton. And again, that's another place where professional racing, any kind of racing, I should wear a helmet. I mean, you're doing risky stuff with a crowd of people around you. The chance of hitting your head on those rides is high. The chance of hitting your head on a typical ride is low. But yeah. The last time, yeah, so he's saying how he slipped off, his feet slipped off in sandals. And again, the sandals people are riding in now are not the flip-flops we grow up in. Like, they are much more on your foot. But even bouncing rocks off my shoes, how many times that's happened when I'm on gravel or rough stuff. I like feel rocky, and it still even kind of hurts. I'm like, man, I just want shoes on when I'm doing gnarly stuff. But Also, my old punk rocker self can't like bring myself not to have like tennis shoes on. It's I mean, it took me a long time before I'd even ride in shorts. So, and I still rarely do it. I went out on Monday and it was really warm, and I rode in jeans the whole time. I actually got a quick downpour, and I ducked into a bar because I was like, it was only like 15 minutes. I had one beer and then left, but it was because I was wearing jeans. I'm like, well, this would be a day where if I had shorts on, I would have just rode through the rain, but I did not want wet jeans because I still had like 8 miles to go. Donald said your bike helmets need to be at least rated MIPS. I actually have never looked into what MIPS means. I thought it was like is that just a rating? I thought it was an actual technology or system that was in the helmet, but I've never looked into it.
I think you pretty much nailed it before. It's a harness.
Yeah, it's like
for your brain.
Yeah. They do rate the system, I'm sure that it's MIPS, but it's actually a thing, not just a rating of foam or something. Yeah, I could definitely see like the closed toe sandals or more of that. And again, I'm not telling anybody how to ride. I don't care if you ride gnarly shit in sandals all you want. I'm talking about me personally. I'm like, when I see it, I'm like, I just picture, I don't know. But I'm like a baby about getting hurt, so there you go. Like, I don't want to get caught. I don't want to, get bruised, whatever. Hey, what's up, Dimitri? Were you in Terry's live stream today? I watched the whole thing, but I barely read the chat, so I was mostly just had it on and would look over when something was going on. Oh, you're talking about the dirt. People riding the dirt will take it on. The roadies don't ever take it off. Yeah. Helmet prices suck. Ones that fit properly cost more. Yeah, I mean, of course, anything like Dave just looking at that super cheap one, I'm sure it fits like garbage. I have two things with helmets, but they're not safety related. One has got to be a magnetic closure because then I could do it and undo it with one hand. And I always want a light in it now. I used to always strap a light to the back of my helmets, but now that there's helmets with integrated lights, I always want one. Large Marge got me an updated one for my birthday a couple years ago, or a year ago. Yeah, I guess 2 years ago now. It's a Kali, Kali, and it's cool. It has the same integrated light in the back that my old one did, but you can't even see it during the day, but it also has lights around the front and the back too. And they don't show up until you turn it on. But I love that, especially for winter riding. I don't even turn it on in the summer that much, but in the winter when around your cars are not looking for you, and I just like to have another light up that's higher besides the the one on the seat post. But Wooden's Mel Smack salad bowls? Is this a joke or is this real? Whoops. Damn it. I highlighted that, then pressed the wrong. Wait, this is a joke? I'm just getting like salad bowl pictures.
Yeah, he's saying wearing that as a helmet.
Oh, yeah.
They're like indestructible, basically.
Oh. Gotcha. Damn, I got way behind. MIPS is a technology that helps with the helmet rotating on your head quickly on impact. Gotcha. Yeah, that's kind of Martin. That's kind of what mine's like. It has like white across the front and red around the back. The main LED is a little triangle, but then there's red LEDs that kind of in a line around that. It's a Virginia Tech rating. Interesting. Helmet didn't say Fabio Jakobsen. Yeah, I mean, again, it's helmets protect you from a certain kind of impact in a certain specific spot. Multi-directional impact protection system. Huh. Yeah, or maybe it did Rocky. Maybe he would have been dead. That's true. Oh, nice. Dimitri, you're out for 52 Ks. You should wear one 100% time, but you don't. Yeah, I don't think you should wear one 100% of the time. You should if you want to. You know, if you want to wear one 100% of the time, you should. I forgot to bring mine to Road Apple one year, and I rode a race without a helmet on, which I wouldn't recommend, a gravel race. But I ride from home like 98% of the time, so when I don't, is when I usually forget it. I also forgot it once when we were in New York, actually out we're kind of close to where we were 2 weekends ago. We went to go mountain biking, and I left it at the Airbnb because, again, we usually ride wherever we go. And I was like, well, I'm not going to sit here and not ride, you know. But I wasn't happy about that. I wish I had it. So helmet you want is an arborist climbing helmet with hearing protection and Bluetooth comms. Damn. Yeah, that. But they're like $500. Yeah. Tristan, a nice walnut finish. Yeah, yeah. Terry's doing the tour in Bedrocks. Bedrocks are pretty popular, and like, yeah, like I said, they're going to be held in place and all that. And I think, I don't know if Large is still in here. He did our last, I think our last bike tour in sandals. He also burned the shit out of his feet. Got his white ass feet out there in the sun, and he was burnt. Oh yeah. If you're going to ride in sandals for the first time, it's going to be sunny. Remember that. You got to lotion those.
Yeah, there's a difference between riding, tour.
Yeah, that was a bike tour.
And riding at Gunk's Not Dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Terry's doing the gap in CNO. We were riding down rocky descents in the rain. So, yeah, the Kali guy, like the marketing guy, actually reached out to me. Not so much even about helmets, just that he used to live in the area. He was a reporter for a local newspaper, and like we had a conversation, just like about other stuff. And then he was like, "Oh, it's cool that you guys wear Kali helmets in your videos." And then I was like, "Yeah, maybe we could do something together." Never responded. I was like, "It's so funny." He reached out just to write a personal note. Then it's like, yeah, I mean, thousands of people a week are seeing me and Aaron wear your helmets. And then, no, can't do anything there. Don't care. My first one was actually a demo, promo. They sent Earthquaker, God. Dirty River, so. In the winter, it does add some more. Yeah. I see people wear like those helmet covers too in the winter. I've never done that. I've just always worn the wool caps underneath. The heavy duty mountain bike jumping helmets. Yeah, I've never had one of those. I've never tried them. I just watched a thing, Balancing Bike Life, that the losing heat through your head is a total myth. When they did that study, it was done by the military. And so they had soldiers dressed in full wool gear, gloves and everything. And they tested soldiers with hats and without hats. And so most of the heat was lost through the head, because they were covered everywhere else. So that's turned out to be a complete myth. You will lose heat through any part of your... So if you wear a hat and a short sleeve, but like heavy pants, you'll lose most of the heat through your arms. So it's whatever is exposed. So the fact that you lose most of the heat through your head is actually turned out to be a myth from a study that was done completely, with a bad, I don't know, test. What do you call that? What are the two things in a scientific test? Subjects, I guess, yeah. Anyways. But I do like your joke anyways. I just found out that fact, so I had to share. But most of the heat is lost through your feet and your head, so don't wear a helmet and wear sandals. Strap a six-pack to your head? Yeah. I like the Kali helmets, but they don't do real well in the Virginia Tech helmet performance tests. Not sure you'll get another. Huh? Yeah, like I said, I've never I've never looked into the safety numbers on the helmets. I think there's something is better than nothing, but I feel like if a car mangles me, it's whatever. I might rather get knocked out and be stupid.
What's the name of yours? I'm trying to find it. They got like a ton of them.
Man, I can't remember what the model name is.
I think the last time we were talking about this, same scenario. Couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah. If you type in Collie with the lights in it. Troy Lee helmet. Huh. I'm not familiar with that brand either. Is that going to be like some football player and it's another joke? There's Troy Lee. He looks like he's a rapper. Hip-hop artist. Sound like a boomer when I say that. Troy Lee Designs. Mountain bike. Oh, that's probably why I'm not familiar. Because I'm not a MTBer. Damn, they got some expensive helmets too. I guess all mountain bike helmets would be more expensive. There's more shit going on there, right? Try being bold. Nice, Mike. Back in the 60s and 70s, you raced motorcycles. If it wasn't for helmets, you probably wouldn't be alive today. Psychologically, you can't ride without a helmet. Yeah, I mean, like, if I forget one and I like touch the top of my head, it's like for that moment, it's like feeling like, oh my God, I'm naked, you know? Like, I definitely could understand that. Oh, he said it's the Collie Central, Dave.
Central?
Foldable helmet. Yeah, I didn't watch the video, but I just saw the thumbnail of what's the biggest mountain bike guy on YouTube? Burn Peak. He was talking, remember, if you guys remember, there was that inflatable one from a couple years ago. I didn't watch the video yet, but the thumbnail made it seem like they were a total scam and went out of business already or something. But if you have one of the non-full face ones, nice for gravel too. Protos arborist helmets will get you a good image of my kind of cool. Whoops. Why did the salad bowl thing come back up? They have a slow website. Wait, are these are like fencing helmets, aren't they? What's with the mask? Oh, is this for like?
It's for.
If you're weed whacking?
It's an arborist helmet. It's for
trimming trees?
chopping trees down.
Ah, gotcha. Do you guys spell colors like the British? The Canadians spell colors like the British? I didn't know that.
Like the
Colors.
those are expensive. You'd actually save money getting that POC helmet. Oh no,
This one's $319, but he was saying the one he was looking at was $500. So, oh, $500 Canadian. Wait, I thought our money was pretty close right now. Well, let's see if we go to Canada dollars. Canada dollars. That's how you guys say it, right? Canada dollars, eh? It won't let me. Oh, there it is. Oh, 400 Canadian. Do Collies feel low profile? I wouldn't say so. I would say it feels pretty mid. I think I don't have the one I ride with down here, but it's the same. Like the one I got now is just upgraded, so I could show you the old one. Yeah, so this is my first one, but yeah, back here. But you can see like it's got the light like that, which comes out, but the new one has lights that go around here and around here. But like I said, you can't see them during the day, which is kind of cool. And that one's a black helmet, but yeah, I would not consider that low profile, but it's not the worst. I mean, there's definitely ones that are like way uglier and beefier, but it's well ventilated. Even got the like mesh in the front to catch the bugs. But yeah, I again, besides the fact that apparently they're not safe at all, I like it.
You used to ride. I can't think of the name of the brand.
Nut case.
Like the urban style.
Yeah, it was a nut case. That was. I just bought that because they made all the different cool designs.
That looks similar almost in profile to that, just with all the vents.
Oh, that's the other thing. I mean, most helmets have this now, but the dial is another. The dial for adjustment in the back, I think, is important. But yeah, the magnetic closure is like a. It would be I wouldn't buy a helmet without a magnetic. So you could just. It's so easy to do and undo. When you start riding, after you've stopped and you've unstrapped it, I just want that, so I'm not fussing with it. But anyways. Check out the Keen Newport. I'm not in the sandal market. I'm going to be wearing my Vans old schools, but yeah, I am aware of Keens too. But I bring sandals now for like in summer tours for like around camp because I do want my shoes and socks off at the end of the day. And I think that's another thing. I would still want to get out of like closed toe sandals at the end of the day, so I'd still be putting on something else, right? I don't know. Whatever. Oh, Dimitri, you missed it. We were talking about helmets that were even more expensive than that. Power Ranger helmets. You have one of the Brooks Carrera folding helmets. Okay, I know I've seen a couple like things on folding helmets, but yeah. Not sold anymore. Kind of makes you wonder if they're safe. Let's see if we could find one. I'm curious what these look like. This company has them, Cycles to Go, if you've ever heard of them. How can we have such a good signal and then just websites are taking so long to load? Yeah, I'm all about the lights in them. Lights and helmets. Oh, look at this. This is some fancy Brooks stuff. Like, leave a little plaid in there. Do they show it closed? You can sell a folding helmet and not show me what it looks like folded? Come on. Let's see if we got it somewhere else. Images of Brooks folding helmets.
I think that is close.
Oh, it just like folds up a little bit.
It just expands.
Where did that picture I just saw? God damn it. Like they showed it kind of like wrapped up. Where was that? Oh, here. Oh, so it's like a slight. It's like it compresses a little bit.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't collapse.
They're kind of cool looking. Where's the picture of the guy with one on?
I mean, sure.
I mean, just because the guy's a nerd doesn't mean the helmet's.
It might look better with that wooden salad bowl.
Yeah. Let's see. Go to news and it's 10 people died wearing Brooks folded helmets. What? Frank said, not sure if I should buy one of those Canadian helmets now before the tariffs or just wait for it to become the 51st state. Yeah, the mesh is a good idea. Definitely for the front vents, they should have that. So. What's up, Daryl? I'll see if chat has any answers on that. Gravel or mountain bike tire and a decent brand. I mean, everyone here knows I'm all about the Renaers tires. I don't have any 650B tires at all. I'm trying to think. 2.2. What is that in roadie language? That would be like a 60 or something. Yeah, see if anyone in the chat has some good advice for you, Daryl. But yeah, I'm all about the Renaers. Those aren't really mountain bike tires. Those are definitely gravel bike tires. You could do whatever. I mean, I ride Renaers for mountain biking too, but they're definitely not as grippy as a true mountain bike tire. But all my bikes get ridden on the road as well, so I don't want something that is overly aggressive. So I like to mix with those kind of tires personally. And I don't know all their names, but they're Renaer sells pretty much one tread pattern. They just change the name depending on how wide the tire is. So, hey, what's up, Raymond? Welcome to the Helmet Chat. We have to defeat your geese before that happens. Oh, EP, you do tree work as well. Well, that you left out the lead, as you reporters would say. Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch all the Burn Peak videos, but I'm sure he's tested out a bunch of them. That tests out everything, right? I'm like one of the few. I don't use dark mode on my phone or anything. Are you a dark mode guy?
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, me either. I'm a white. Aaron's all dark mode. I don't use dark mode on anything. YouTube Studio, maybe you noticed this, Dimitri, like reverts to dark mode even though it's on light mode for me sometimes, but if I pull it down to refresh, it always goes back to white. So, Clunky, oh, you hate the plaid part? You painted over it? Ah, I thought that was kind of a nice little touch there. Senna makes a helmet that has intercom system, Bluetooth connect. What would you on a bicycle? What would you be using an intercom system for? Are you just riding that far away from other people? I don't
start dropping somebody or
yeah, but everyone has a cell phone.
yeah.
It seems like a tech
thing.
thing.
You gotta stop and talk.
I don't gotta stop.
I'm telling you, that'd be a game changer.
You want a radio in your helmet?
Again, it depends on if you're in like a huge ride too, and you get split up. I'm sure it doesn't work too far away, but
I don't know. My Wahoo shows me where everyone is.
no, not even that far. Or if you're having to ride single file and
yeah,
you're the one in the back. It's like you coming up to a train, whatever.
I just don't.
It'd be a nice feature.
If like we just ride so much that we just don't have to talk most of the time either.
Well, sure.
I don't want to always be reachable. Maybe I dropped you on purpose. What is that? It's not working.
We're coming up to a tunnel.
Yeah. You got the tunnel, you can't hear you. Yeah. William's all dark mode, yeah. Foldable helmet looks like a droid helmet. Is that a Burberry collab with Brooks? Very fashionable. I wouldn't be surprised. Here's a couple more special edition ones.
I'm glad he said that side is what he covered up or whatever he did to it. That's the part I don't like.
Oh, really? If I was gonna buy one,
It's too solid.
I don't mind. I don't mind it. Oh, Carrera is who it's a collab with, but not to say there weren't other ones. I don't know. I like it. It's classy. Be good with a nice cruiser bike, like upright,
Yeah.
like a Dutch bicycle. I didn't mean 27.5. I mean, I know 650 is 27.5. I was talking about the width, 2.2. What is that? 55.8. Oh, no, Renee's is spelled like. I'll show. Because I run 55s on the bike I use for mountain biking and everything. But I never remember the names of what they're dual purpose knobbies. Yeah, can I click on anything? Come on, bud. At least their pop-up was just down in the corner. Oh, 650B. There we go. Oh, they don't sell a 650B in 55. Oh, 2 point. They go to mountain bike sizing. They're expensive though. I should have said that from the beginning. Real expensive. And you'd also want it in the endurance casing. They can be tough to get seated in the light casing. They're really nice to ride, but yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, so what are these? Tandem Ridge? That's what I'd go with. If you don't mind spending a lot of money on tires, that'll wear out quick. A lot of caveats. Anyways, if you're interested, which you might not be, and other people probably have different opinions, I don't mind boutique tires, but there's a link for you. Yeah, I know a lot of people really like the Schwalbes. What are the other ones? Large Marge said 704 Schwalbe Racing Ridge, Schwalbe Thunderbird. Yeah. MTV Maddie active on YouTube? Whoa, lost my. Rapid Rob. Huh, I'm not familiar with those ones. Intercom would be nice for tandem riding. You can't hear each other on a tandem? Intercom would be nice for talking to Aaron, as Large Marge knows. She's always like, I can't hear you. Or again, maybe that's why I don't want an intercom. Benjamin said radios would be great for calling 400 cases of Coors beer. Thank you, channel members. Yep, as always. Yeah. Yeah, look into the ones Large Marge recommended too, because he has to set up Renee's tires for me and stuff all the time, so he's not a fan. And I definitely trust his opinions as well, so I would check out both. Like I said, Renee's tires are expensive and could be a little finicky. I just love the tread pattern. I love that I can ride 55 millimeter tires that are knobby on the road and not feel slow, but you do definitely probably give up some of that better fine edge traction you would get out of a true more mountain tire. But yeah, it's like anything. We're talking about the price of helmets and consumables, and yeah, I buy really expensive tires. It's the one thing I like to spend some of my money on because I feel like it makes a big difference in the ride quality. Intercom would be nice in a no cell area on a long climb. Yeah. Oh, you ride with your kids on the tandem, so you want to be like, beep. Oh, yeah. Those are, Martin, a lot of people, and again, I haven't personally ridden them, but I know that Vittoria Mezcals are a tire that a lot of people that I trust like as well. So, yeah. Another one worth checking out. And also type those into YouTube. Watch some people who have, like, there's probably videos comparing all of those, see what fits, see what works for you the best. Tristan said he likes the Mezcals on the mountain bike and gravitated towards the Pirellis on gravel and the road bike. Yeah. That's one of my, like I said already, but just for me is that I ride all the bikes I ride, or the 2 bikes I ride all the time. I ride on everything. If you saw the last video, I'm hitting single track, I'm hitting gravel, I'm hitting mud, but I'm also doing, 40 or 30 miles of road on that ride. So I really like those tires because they kind of split the difference. But William said he rides the Victoria Mezcals roll great on pavement and gravel. Nice. We're getting late. We got to get up out of here. It's almost 10 o'clock. This has been a good conversation. Went by
real quick.
Yeah, and the helmet conversation actually stayed civil, which is rare. Yeah. All right, dudes. Like I said, no stream next Tuesday. I'll look into doing a makeup stream on Thursday, but we'll see what happens. I haven't looked at the schedule out past that. So, and then again, if you're in the Columbus area, there's a chance I'll try and do a ride, but not going to. I'm going to decide that later, probably at the end of the weekend. So don't want to get myself locked into something yet. So, yeah. Cycling cap recommendations. If you want something that's handmade, check out Zephyrline Workshop in Cleveland. Dirty River sells them. Joy Machines, I think, sells them too. So that'd be like handmade ones, but a lot of the other ones I ride are Bike Shop. This is a bike shop in New York. Or Pro Team stuff, EF. I buy their caps usually every year. So, all right, dudes. See well, sometime. Peace.
Okay. Okay, bye. All right. Okay,
Yeah.
this time.
Fitzwater photo.